Yes.
Do you understand what is the truth? And do you understand what is a lie?
Yes.
Do you understand the difference?
Yes.
And can you control what you testify to? If you want to testify to a lie, you could testify to a lie, right?
Yes.
Because you know it's a lie. And if you wanted to testify to the truth, you could testify to the truth, correct?
Yes.
And you know the difference.
Yes.
And these drugs do not affect your ability to know and understand the difference between the truth and a lie.
Yes.
That's accurate.
Yeah.
But in your mind, you didn't tell me why you take the Rebekah. That was not a lie.
No.
Tell me again why that wasn't a lie.
Because I know it's for bipolar disorder, but I don't know why they prescribed it to me.
Well, has a doctor ever told you, Ms. Kinner, diagnosing you with having a bipolar disorder?
I don't know. I know that I had an evaluation done, but I don't remember the results of it.
So you have no earthly idea why you're taking the Rebekah?
No.
It's just the doctor gives it to you, and that's what you're going to take.
Yes.
And tell me this, why did you tell Mr. Schiavone yesterday that you take it for a bipolar disorder?
That's what it's for.
That's not what you said, right? Yesterday you said, I take it because I have a bipolar disorder, right?
Yes.
So why did you answer it that way for Mr. Schiavone and then not tell me something different today? Why does it change? Why does your response change?
I don't know.
When you say I don't know, does that mean that you really can't control what words come out of your mouth?
Sometimes.
Sometimes you cannot control what words come out of your mouth?
No.
Well, describe to me when that happens, when you cannot control the words that come out of your mouth.
Whenever I'm being questioned and I'm under, like, a lot of people are watching me and I'm under a lot of stress, and sometimes I can't.
Sometimes you get what under those circumstances?
Stressed.
Sure. So when you're under stress, how does that affect what effect does that have on what words come out of your mouth?
I don't know.
What, now, I don't want to get back to I don't know it yet. So whenever you're questioned by someone, you become stressed. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I get real anxious and stressed.
And when you get real anxious and stressed, what does that do to your ability to testify truthfully?
I just want to hurry up and get it done, so I just hurry up and answer the questions.
So when you hurry up and answer questions, you disregard your oath to tell the truth?
No.
So even though you're hurrying up to answer the questions, you're still answering the questions truthfully.
Yes.
You understand the difference between what is true and what is fabricated.
Yes.
Any other questions of this witness?
Yes, sir. So Rebekah, when you told the judge this morning that you didn't know why you were taking the nickel, you didn't know you were lying. Is that true?
No.
You knew you were lying.
No.
I'm going to ask you again. When the judge asked you this morning why you were taking the nickel, and you told him you didn't know, that wasn't true, correct?
Yes.
And when you answered that way, did you believe you were telling the truth?
Yes.
But you've also told the judge that you didn't believe you were telling the truth when you told him that. Correct?
Yes.
Yesterday, when I asked you why you were taking the nickel, you answered, because I'm bipolar. Correct?
Yes.
When the judge asked you today, did you remember that you told me yesterday that you were taking it because you're bipolar?
No. I thought I said that it was for bipolar disorder.
Yes, ma'am, you did. That's what she said. But when the judge asked you, did you forget you answered the question the way you did yesterday?
No.
The judge asked you whether or not you can help yourself. Excuse me. I'm going to ask you. When someone asks you a question and you're in a hurry to answer it, whether or not you tell a lie or the truth, it can be either one, correct?
Yes.
So it's whatever comes out of your mouth at that moment.
Yes.
Correct? Even if it might be a lie, you just want to get through it.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mhm.
Very much.
Do you have anything further?
Nice one. When you talked about wanting to get things over, does that mean that sometimes you want to go along to get along?
Yes.
So if I told you the moon was made out of green cheese, you knew that, would you say yes, just to go along to get along?
Yes.
In this courtroom, however, you don't expect us to ask those type of questions, do you?
Yes.
You do or you don't?
No, I don't.
All right. Do you understand the difference between an intentional lie and something that is simply just not true?
No.
You don't know, do you know why you're taking the Lamictal? Do you actually know why you're taking it?
No, I know it's for the bipolar disorder, but I don't know why I'm taking it.
Okay. But somebody's told you, you have bipolar, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
But you don't know why. You're
Yeah.
not a doctor, you don't know if you got that or not. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
But somebody told you that you have, so that when the judge asks you if you have bipolarism, you either say, no, I don't, or I don't know. Is that what's going on?
Yes.
But you take the Lamictal, just as you said yesterday to the judge, you take those two drugs, correct?
Yes.
And nothing else.
Yes.
Nobody has snuck any drug to you in the jail, now have they?
No.
The only thing you get is that prescription at night.
Yes.
Are you doing your best to tell the truth in this courtroom?
Yes.
And will you continue to do that to the best of your ability in this courtroom?
Yes.
Thank you.
Rebecca, is it a fair statement that when a question is asked of you, you just don't know whether it was going to come out a lie or the truth?
No.
That's not true?
No.
So when you do answer a question, and you do lie about it, it's intentional. Is that correct?
No.
No?
No.
It just happens. It just happens.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Thank you. Couple questions, Joe? Ms. Kim?
When the jury's sitting there looking at you, I'm looking at you, and all the lawyers are looking at you, and all these people in that back row are looking at you. You told me you just answered the question just to get through it. Is that what I'm to understand?
Yes.
And when you answer a question untruthfully, do you know that it's not the truth?
No.
You just throw out an answer, and you don't know whether it's truthful or untruthful. You just respond.
Yes.
Well, how do you pick how to respond? Yes or no, for example. How do you pick?
I just try to answer what they want me to answer.
So when Mr. Moser's asking you questions, Ms. Ivy's asking you questions, you'll say what you think they want to hear?
No.
When Mr. Schiavone's asking you questions, or Mr. Schiavone IV is asking you questions, then you just say what you think they want to hear?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because I'm nervous. I don't like being yelled at, and everybody in here just makes me really nervous.
So you told me that you don't care to give the answers, you're not trying to give answers that you think the prosecution wants to hear, but you want to give answers that you think the defense wants to hear?
Yes.
I didn't get the answer, Judge, I'm so
You
sorry.
said yes. So, can I ask why you're doing that?
Because I told the prosecutors the truth about my story, so I know that they already know.
So since they already know the truth, you don't care if you tell the truth to them today?
Yeah, I do.
Well, that's not what you told me a minute ago. A minute ago you said you're not trying to please them. And maybe that's not true. So we got on this question of whether or not you're trying to please the prosecutors. You're saying, I'm not trying to please the prosecutors, but you're trying, then you said you're trying to please the defense attorneys.
Yes.
Can I ask why are you trying to please the defense attorneys?
Because the prosecutors already know what happened. I told them everything, so I don't feel like I have to please them. And Mr. Schiavone, he doesn't know the whole story. He doesn't know my side, and I just feel like when he's coming at me, I just have to agree with him.
When Mr. Labuno, the court's bailiff, gave you the oath a few minutes ago, remember that?
Yes.
Tell me in your own words what that means to you.
It means that you'll get on the stand and you'll testify against somebody and tell them what you did or what they did.
Well, what else does it mean to you?
To get up there and tell the truth Yes.
And even when you're feeling pressure, no matter who's asking you the questions, do you understand the difference between the truth and the lie?
Yes.
So if you lie or say something that's untruthful in response to that question, you know that you're doing it.
I don't know at the time till after I say it.
You don't know until after you say it.
Yeah.
Well, tell me how that works. I mean, I don't quite understand. What?
Like if he asks me something and then I answer right away, and then that's when I realize that it's not true after I say it.
How long does that take? Like, almost immediately?
No.
I mean, you start thinking about it and say, oh, that's not right.
Yeah.
So does it take like 5 seconds? 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. Would you figure out, oh, that wasn't true?
Yes.
So, did that happen to you yesterday when you were testifying?
Yes.
Did you ever then stop and correct the person who was asking you the questions and say, well, wait a minute. What I said a minute ago wasn't true. I want to change my response. You didn't do that, did you?
No.
So if you swore to tell the truth, you gave your oath, your word, your bond, you were going to tell the truth. How can you just respond without thinking about what you're saying, knowing later on, seconds later, that it's untrue? Isn't that a violation of your oath to tell the truth?
Yes.
What does that mean to you, to violate an oath?
That it's a lie.
Then what, I'm sorry,
Repeat your answer.
That it's a lie.
Ms. Kinner, how am I to know when you're telling me the truth and when you're just answering the question without thinking about it?
I just want to say what I see him do. I know what he did, and I saw it, and that's all I want to get out.
Well, that's all well and good. But you understand we have to have the trial.
Yeah.
And we got to do it in a fair fashion, right?
Yes.
That means everybody's got to come in here and tell the truth, right?
Yes.
That means everybody's got to listen to the question, think about the response, and then answer truthfully, right?
Yes.
It doesn't work when people do what you say you do, does it?
No.
So how would you suggest that? Strike that. Back to the question, maybe you answered it. If I let you testify in this case, how do I know that you're giving thoughtful, truthful responses to the questions that the lawyers are asking?
I'll stop and think about it before I answer it.
But you're telling me yesterday that's not what you did, or did you do that yesterday?
No,
No what?
I didn't do that.
Schiavone was asking you questions, or did you do that when Ms. Hiley questioned?
Sorry.
Ms. Hiley asked you questions.
Schiavone,
Only for Mr. Schiavone?
yes.
And that goes back to what you told me before, because since you already told the detectives and you told the grand jury your story to them, tell me again why you picked Mr. Schiavone not to answer the questions truthfully, but you wish you answer the questions truthfully to the prosecution.
Because I don't like being yelled at, and he doesn't know the story, so whenever he starts questioning me, even if something he says isn't true, I go along with it and I just agree with him.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions?
So you go along with what Mr. Moser says? Is that what you're telling me, Jeff?
Yes,
So you answered him truthfully?
yes,
And when Mr. Moser stood up here a little while ago and asked you if the moon was made of green cheese, you said yes, didn't you?
no,
Do you remember what you said?
yes,
What did you say when Mr. Moser asked you that question?
no,
Rebecca, you told Mr. Moser that you thought the moon was made of green cheese. So it doesn't matter, does it? Whether it's me, whether it's Mr. Moser, you just answer. Whether it's true or not. Correct?
no,
You told the judge that. You told the judge that you could answer because you want people to quit asking you questions. Did you answer that one?
yes,
Is the moon made out of green cheese?
no.
Why did you say it was?
I didn't know I was saying it was. I thought he was asking me if I go along with that. Yes, I would go along with that, but I know it's not made out of green cheese.
So when Mr. Moser said, would you go along with the fact that the moon is made of green cheese,
Yes,
you answered yes,
yes,
because that's the answer you thought Mr. Moser wanted.
no. He was asking me if I would go along with it if somebody said that, and yes, I would.
Not because it's true, but because Mr. Moser said it, correct?
Yes,
Fine. Thank you.
So you would go along with, back to the green cheese, when you asked, would you go along if I said the moon was made of green cheese? And you said, yes. Right?
yes,
I forgot the question I was going to ask you. Mine was a terrible thing to waste. All right. Well, I'm going to have someone on our court staff, with your consent, come down and take a urine sample, and we'll be tested for drugs.
okay,
Do you have any objection to that?
no,
Can you tell me the truth this time?
yes,
Very well. Let's take the Ms. Kinner downstairs for a few minutes. Thank you very much. Well, wherever Elizabeth would like to do this.
Thank you.
Deputies, would you work with my staff to figure out where this test station is? Does the defendant's counsel wish to call anybody else, any other witnesses on the issue of confidence or present any evidence?
Excuse me, Judge. We're not, Judge. We're not.
All right, does the state have any evidence that you wish to present on the issue of competency?
Where do you go?
Your Honor, there was a forensic evaluation done by Dr. Kurtzhoff. The court has that in its record. It talks about drugs and the evaluation of Ms. Kinner. So I present that for this case.
Do you have a copy of it
I
there?
do have a copy of it.
All right, so then mark it considered.
It has not, but I'm happy to do that.
I'll be honest, I'm sure I've read it, but
Will the court present a brief argument on the issue at this point, or do you want that reserved for later?
well, let's get through the evidentiary portion then. We'll give you all the argument you want.
Thank you, Your Honor, appreciate that.
What time is it? Oh, I advise the jury to check back 30 minutes or so. No promises.
Your Honor, may I use the restroom?
I'm not
Yes.
sure what the exhibit.
Can this be a Roman numeral?
That would be great. Thank you.
Any objection to a joint exhibit Roman numeral?
I was going to suggest, Judge, Defense Exhibit T is that forensic evaluation.
Oh, okay.
You want to
Entire,
mark?
entire,
Yeah, I-
page of it.
No, it is. It's the entire report.
Okay.
And I have no objection to it being received in that.
By,
Well, for this purpose, the state has no objection.
Limited purpose for this
I
hearing.
understand. That's fine.
the competency hearing only, and will be received as evidence.
Yes, sir.
For the record. And it's, what letter?
T.
T. So somewhere in this packet I had.
Some green cheese for
Would you join me on? Dismiss the case, Mr. Prosecutor. That's the right thing to do. That's the right thing to do, you know it.
Get out of here.
You've got an obligation to do
Get
it.
out of here, don't point your finger at me.
Oh, you just pointed yours at mine, at my face, but didn't you? It's not funny, like, you see what's going on, this is a miscarriage of justice, and you know it.
Counsel, we're on the record.
Excuse
You
me,
wish to
Judge.
engage in all this, you'll do it outside of my presence.
Excuse me, Judge, I didn't realize you were still on. Can't step out yet.
Yes, Mr. Bowden will step out with you, and you guys can go out there and talk to each other if that's what you want to do. We're not
I would love to.
We'll take a short recess from the record. I'm going to remain here. Mike, we'll get started here in a couple minutes, won't go far.
You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give before this court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Have a seat.
All right, the record will reflect we're still on the competency hearing. Counsel and the defendant are present. Oh, when you woke up this morning, did you think you were going to be testifying in a murder trial?
No, Your Honor.
Very well. State your name and your position.
My name is Elizabeth Sensi. I'm a pretrial services officer with the Court of Common Pleas.
And as the normal course of your events, do you administer drug tests to various defendants?
Yes, I do.
Did you administer a drug test through a urine sample to Ms. Rebekah Kinner?
I did, Your Honor.
That was just moments ago?
It was.
And that was at my direction?
It was.
And how do you go about conducting the test, not taking the sample, but once the sample is obtained, let's start there.
Once the sample is obtained, I make sure that it's a valid sample, that they provide enough for me to test. I then dip a instant test stick into it. I used a 4-panel stick. I let the stick sit, make sure it does not touch the plastic as instructed. Then I cap the stick, I lay it flat, and I wait for a result to show.
And that's what you did in this case?
I did, Your Honor.
And you followed your training. First off, have you been trained in the use and administration of this test?
I have, Your Honor.
And you followed your training?
I did, Your Honor.
What did you do?
I'm sorry?
What was the findings? What did you read on the test kit?
The results were all negative, so I saw 2 lines for each of the drugs I tested for.
What drugs are, it's called 4-panel?
It is a
What
4-panel.
drugs are being tested?
THC, which would be marijuana, cocaine, methamphetamines, and opiates.
And they were not present.
They were not present.
Very well. Any questions of Ms. Sensi?
No, and thank you for your time.
Did you?
Chief Schiavone?
Yes. Just so I understand, you did not test for Prozac?
Unfortunately, the instant test sticks, there is nothing that Prozac would show for it, considering it's a non-narcotic.
And how about the nickel?
That would not show on an instant test stick as well.
Thank you, ma'am, very much. So you tested for the drugs of abuse?
Yes, sir.
Street drugs?
Yes.
Marijuana, cocaine, methamphetamines, that type of drug?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, thank you so much. Thank you, Judge.
Prosecution?
No, thank you for asking, Your Honor.
Normally, over the years, I've seen that persons, before they administer the test, might ask the subject of the test, have you taken any drugs? Did you ask her?
No, Your Honor, I did not have any conversation whatsoever. I just instructed her to please hold the cup with both hands so that I could see both hands were on the cup, and that was it.
Well, Ms. Sensi, thank you very much for your time. And is this the first murder trial you've ever testified in?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well, you're excused.
Thank you.
The sensi to maintain the sample and the stick that she was supposed to be.
I don't intend to maintain the urine stick sample unless someone else wishes to. If there's a request, we will.
We would just ask that the results be attached to the record.
Well, those were the
I didn't know if there was a written result, and it's just strictly a stick, then the testimony, I would say, would preserve the issue, Judge. Thank you.
I'm satisfied with the testimony. Thank you, Ms. Sensi.
Thank you.
All right, we've concluded now the evidentiary portion of this competency hearing. The defense has the burden, the witness is presumed competent. Is there any argument that the defense wishes? I'll let you go first, in other words. Is there any argument that the defense wishes to present?
Yes, sir. Into the court. Judge, I don't know that I've been in a more pivotal situation in a trial. the court fully understands the importance of this witness. This is the sole witness for the state of Ohio.
Okay, we'll strike that, Your Honor. I apologize to the interruption of the argument.
Good time.
I'll address whatever my concerns were later, and I apologize to the court for interrupting.
Thank you, sir. The court has a full appreciation for the importance of this testimony. This is the key testimony in the case by the key witness in the case. It's virtually the sole and only evidence that could be used by the jury to convict Bradley Young. The court has heard the answers to her questions that were propounded by the court, by the prosecutor, and by myself. Your Honor, I believe the answers to her questions make it clear that this witness is not competent to testify. Whether or not she knows the truth, we don't know, because she answers both ways. Whether or not she knows the difference between a lie and the truth, I'm not sure she does, because her answers are just so inconsistent. Is she able to reasonably relate facts and circumstances to this jury? I would say positively not, Judge. I realize there's a presumption of competency. And this isn't a situation where the evidence is even close, Judge. She thinks the moon is made of green cheese, but then she said that's not true. She only answered that way because Mr. Moser asked her the question in such a way as to suggest the answer. And she went with it. I think that alone, Judge, would be enough. Your Honor, I'm moving to strike her testimony, and the alternative, we're moving for a mistrial. Thank you.
Well, it gets a little premature. We're going to take this a step at a time.
Yes.
At this point in time, I don't know. She's found incompetent, and we'll argue about what happens next.
Yes, sir.
And I think it's best to take this a step at a time.
Yes, sir.
Stay alive.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. To characterize this witness as the most important sole witness, as if she's the end-all be-all of this case, is a misstatement. If she was on that moon made of green cheese and could never appear in this court, the state of Ohio's case would just be as rock solid as it is.
I'm
Now,
not to hear that. Now, on the issue of competency.
right, I know, and that was where my objection was, and I appreciate the court's opportunity to respond to the characterization. Now I'll get to the issue of competency. Thank you for that opportunity, Judge, I do appreciate it. She has been determined by this court to be competent. You would not have entertained her plea with respect to her earlier investigation for the psychiatrist, psychologist, or whatever that you had at that time to determine that. Now, has she somehow become incompetent since that time? Because she is taking substances, Lamictal and Prozac. There is no evidence presented to this court of some synergistic effect that those drugs have any effect on her competency at all. It's been suggested without proof. What there has been in this court, however, is cross-examination. Cross-examination that ordinarily takes place in every single trial. Sometimes the cross-examination goes nowhere. Sometimes on cross-examination, a person is able to, the examiner is able to get a person to admit that, yeah, I'm that person that goes along to get along. And every skilled presenter of evidence always discusses the go along to get along problem. Everybody knows, every trial lawyer knows, that the pitfall of an aggressive cross-examination is the witness that says, okay, all right, what the heck? If you're saying the moon's made out of green cheese, okay, get off my back, I'll agree, it's made out of green cheese. That's what cross-examiners do in front of juries. This case is in front of a jury. They are asking you to make a predetermination of the effect of the cross-examination that they have the right, the ability to do, and they've got plenty of ammunition for it. They could have that same opportunity in front of this jury that they've had with you. But at this juncture, they want you to assess and determine her credibility on cross-examination before the jury gets a hold of it, as if she's somehow incompetent to tell the truth, based upon some competency medical issue, which she has no evidence of having an effect on her ability. Does she lie? Somehow or another, she interprets that a false statement is a lie. In her mind, perhaps it's not. In her mind, it's go along and get along. They have the opportunity to test that. And if they can destroy her, absolutely crush her, that's what juries are for. That's what cross-examination does. And good luck. Okay. But not at this point, Your Honor. To throw this case out on a mistrial, or say that somehow the jury doesn't get to hear any more from her, or to take her testimony from yesterday and toss it out the window. No. They get to do that in the jury room. Now, at the end of the case, maybe the court will have to assess her credibility at the end of the case and see if that had such a material effect on something. You can't do it at a 29, we all know that, but maybe you can at the end of a case and assess credibility. The credibility issue comes about as a process of cross-examination. And credibility has the determination of whether or not somebody's lied willfully on a material fact, as opposed to whether or not the moon's made out of green cheese. All of these things are for the jury's determination on cross-examination. Does counsel have the ability and the right to inquire about her truthfulness? I'm not going to hear me objecting to that. And destroy her, crush her, do whatever they do to her. They'll be able to do that. They get to do that. Sometimes, just because cross-examination is so devastating doesn't mean that somehow you get to throw the case out on a mistrial, or take it away from the jury to understand what she said or didn't say, and what was true and what was not true. So, that's the point I'm trying to make, Judge. I don't want to start repeating myself. But I think that it is not appropriate at this juncture to determine that she has lied in such a way that you now can make that predetermination before the jury gets to decide whether or not they can listen to her testimony on cross-examination, or the testimony she gave yesterday on direct.
What does it mean in Rule 601 when it talks about those persons who appear capable of perceiving facts relating to the truth? Isn't that what she said today? I'll just answer any old answer, even with you today. I'll give you any answer, Stephen. No filter as to whether it's true or untrue. She realizes it's untrue.
I still think it's a jury determination, Your Honor, on cross-examination on whether or not it's something material in this case, and whether she actually lied about that. I mean, at this point, Your Honor, by the way, I don't know specific things they are referring to that are material to her testimony yesterday and or today that she was actually saying this truth to go along and get along. She said, actually, that everything she said in the state's presentation, which is relatively brief, was true on the material issues in this case. Now, did she give oral sex to this guy in some issue a couple of years ago and she forgot that? Is that something she might want to forget? I suppose maybe so. Is this case about the sex lives of 20-year-olds? I hope not. But I understand that she would have some hesitancy probably in a courtroom full of adults and people talking about her sex life somewhere along the line. Did he bring it up that, yeah, she really did say that? And she did say that thing? And she said, what? I don't recall what I said on the Facebook page. But yeah, she did. Apparently, they got it. We gave it to them. They ought to know.
She doesn't seem to really competently think about whether it's truthful or untruthful when she responds to a question. If one knows that they're testifying untruthfully and they've got an agenda, then I don't know that they're necessarily incompetent, because they're able to they've got an agenda, if they're thinking about what they're doing, and they recognize the difference between the truth and a lie, one man's truth is another man's lie. She, on the other hand, doesn't even seem to go through that process of necessarily having an agenda. She relates and she just gives the first response that comes to her.
Well, not with the direct examination, because we asked open-ended questions. We didn't lead her and not permitted to lead her in her direct examination. So she gave her answers without being led to the green cheese. The defense does. They led her to
You
whatever they
asked her a
want.
leading question, you, the prosecutor, a leading question, was the moon made of green cheese? And she says, yes.
That's an example. Absolutely.
And she said, yes. Mr. Welch.
She said, yes, you do.
I don't know that I saw it in exactly that. I thought she was using that as an example of how she goes along to get along. And as she said, yeah, I know it's not made out of green cheese. But if I pressed her in that, would she say, yeah? She said, yeah. On leading questions, which is really a benefit to the defense, you know, I mean, maybe they can get her to say some really outrageous things on cross, but we didn't ask her anything outrageous leading on direct. She didn't have any trouble with that at all, because she just told her story, not mine, hers. Now, they want to, through leading questions, ask her their story, and they can probably get, maybe she will get the green cheese answer. I'm sorry about that, but that could happen. Thank you, Judge. Appreciate that to the argument case.
I'm going to give you another opportunity here, Mr. Shabani.
Speak, Your Honor.
I will give you another opportunity to speak after I finish researching.
Judge, I truly understand the position of the prosecutor. Excuse me, Judge.
All right, Mr. Shabani, you now have my full attention.
Thank you, Judge. I understand the state of Ohio is in a very difficult position right now, Judge. I understand that. But with all due respect, this is not a game. This is not a competition between myself and the prosecutor. This isn't my opportunity to crush a witness in front of a jury and wave the victory flag. That's not what this is about, Judge. Fact is, the woman could not answer the court's questions truthfully, Mr. Moser's questions truthfully, or my questions truthfully. 601 requires the witness receive a just impression of the facts and transactions respecting which they're examined, or of relating them truly. drugs, synergy, have nothing to do with it. And that's why we didn't go there during this hearing. We didn't need to, Judge, because synergy doesn't matter of the drugs. The effect of the drugs doesn't really matter. It's what she is testifying to. The woman does not know what the truth is. She has stated that. She has demonstrated it. And Judge, I would ask that you find her not competent to testify. Thank you.
Ms. Rebekah Kinner appeared yesterday afternoon to begin her testimony. I'm not an expert on this, but she appeared in the manner in which she answered questions and responded and acted almost as if she was under the influence of some type of drug. She admitted during the course of the cross-examination that she takes Prozac with a Lamictal. She indicated during cross-examination that it was for depression and bipolar. She indicates to this morning during the competency hearing that those drugs do not affect her ability to think, understand, make important decisions, and I presume respond truthfully to questions. She indicates that she understands the difference between the truth and a lie. Yet, she readily admits she has difficulty responding truthfully to questions. Truth does not necessarily get in her way or become a filter for her to use in calculating her response to questions. That's a problem under Evidence Rule 601. That's a problem under 2317.01. I was asking the questions of her and trying to interview her this morning. Sure, it doesn't show up on a paper record. She's not acting in an aggressive fashion towards her. She's a soft voice. And even under those circumstances, when very important to the judges asking questions, it would appear that she did not answer my questions truthfully. She wanted to later recover, well, I don't know why the doctor prescribed to me Lamictal, and that's why I said I don't know as to why she prescribed Lamictal. But she just told Mr. Schiavone yesterday it's for bipolar. Twenty-three 17.01 reads, all persons are competent witnesses except those of unsound mind and children under 10 years of age who appear incapable of receiving just impressions of facts and transactions respecting which they are to be examined or of relating them truthfully. And almost that exact same type of language is used in Evidence Rule 601. Court finds that Ms. Rebekah Kinner is incapable of relating just impressions of the facts truthfully, and declares the witness to be incompetent. thing do you want me to tell the jury regarding her testimony? You want me to strike it, Mr. Chabot?
Your Honor, I would request at this point a relatively brief recess so that we may evaluate exactly what's going on before I make a request, a formal request of the court. And I would request it.
Well, in light of that ruling, which I'm sure the state objects to, and I understand that, what would the state suggest that this court proceed? Strike the testimony, call our next witness?
First of all, Judge, you didn't really say I object to what you did.
Well, you might.
No, seriously. You're the judge. You make decisions. You make rulings. You're the umpire of this operation, and you call the shots. You made that ruling, and I made my argument, and that's the way it goes.
Fair enough. Now, how would you suggest the court proceed?
I think the appropriate way to proceed would be to instruct the jury that this witness is not going to be testifying further, that everything that she has testified to prior to this, in all respects, be stricken and move forward, because I don't think that if she's incompetent today, she was certainly not competent yesterday. I would assume that's the court's ruling, and that the only appropriate way would be to inform the jury that her testimony is stricken. I don't believe that, however, that it would be appropriate to give an explanation of medical issues and or judicial issues with respect to rules of evidence and things of that nature. I think it is appropriate to inform them, just as you have always done. Whenever you have stricken it, you don't tell them, and I'm striking this because of this argument or that argument. It is merely a statement that the court makes. They're required to do that, and that's how this case should then proceed, and we would like to move forward. Thank you.
Inclined to proceed in that fashion, Mr. Shaboni, so if you've got a different course of action, I think now is the opportunity for you to place it on record.
May I have a moment?
Yes.
Your Honor, I will renew my motion to strike the testimony of Rebekah Kinner. I agree with the state of Ohio that would be the proper course of action. However, I believe the jury has a right to know that Ms. Kinner was found to be incompetent, and based upon that, they should disregard her testimony. The fear being that they just won't be able to remove it from their mind. The fear being that they're going to start speculating as to why. And I think there's a real danger in that. And I would just ask the court to...
What would the jurors do if I instruct them that she's incompetent? If this is a legal determination, what would the jury do with that?
Well, they would not be concerned that she became ill, or whatever any one of the 14 could conjure up in their minds as to why this witness is now being excluded. That's been unfortunate. But yes, I do agree with Mr. Moser. The motion to strike is appropriate remedy.
Yes, Mr. Commissioner.
Thank you. Your Honor, there's an open-ended motion, however, for mistrial. I would ask the court to either have that withdrawn or rule on that at this time.
Thank you, sir. I would withdraw our motion for mistrial.
It's being withdrawn.
It is being withdrawn.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And also, Judge, for the purposes of the record, these decisions that were just made were made in consultation with Bradley Young. And he has consented to the course
Withdraw the motion
for mistrial and to proceed in the fashion in which we proceed.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry, I guess I didn't hear what
I'm
you said.
sorry.
Please repeat it.
I wanted to place on the record that we consulted with Mr. Young on these decisions, and he has concurred.
Very good, thank you.
All right. Now, to our gallery, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your cooperation throughout this trial. The jury's out there. I'm going to ask for your cooperation once again. Do not go out there and talk about rulings, things that's been made for ever in the presence of the jury. But particularly now, I do not want to somehow, since that jury's sitting out there waiting on us, that they should somehow be exposed to improper information. You wouldn't be here unless you wanted to see both the state of Ohio and the defendant receive a fair trial. So you're ordered not to go out this hallway, not to discuss this matter in any form or fashion in the presence of the jury. What time did you tell the jurors to come back, Rick?
They are waiting out there, Mrs. Reynolds is down the other end of the hall, however.
Is the state prepared to call 6 minutes?
Sorry, what, Your Honor?
I believe he is 5 minutes away, so if we could just take a brief recess, we'll be ready to go.
You folks need a break? Then 5 minutes.
Please rise.
5-minute recess.
Court's in recess, thank you.
present. The jury remains excused in the hallway. Mr. Schiavone IV, however, is not present. Mr. Schiavone III, do you feel qualified and able to proceed without your son present?
I do, Your Honor, thank you.
Very well. What would you like to bring to the court's attention?
Your Honor, I can only assume that the next witness is going to be the witness that will lay the foundation to play Mr. Young's statement to the police. I will represent to the court that the statement to the police contains quotes given to Brad by the officers who were interrogating him. The jury then will hear what Rebekah Kinner is allegedly saying to Brad Young. Now, we've got a two-pronged problem here. Most of what they told Brad wasn't true, which they've got a right to do, Judge, and I know that. The police interrogate, they've got the right to lie about everything to a defendant or a suspect. And it's the law, and it's the way it's done. That's for the purposes of getting a confession. Now, we cannot cross-examine the statements made by Rebekah Kinner in a recorded statement. We can't do that. Also, part of Bradley's statement, Your Honor, consists of a meeting that was put together by the police to put Brad Young and Rebekah Kinner in the same room. And I will represent to the court the purpose of that was for Rebekah Kinner to go after verbally and make statements against Bradley Young. For example, you're a murderer. Now, they had quite an amount of time in that room together. That didn't happen. Quite the opposite. She smoked a cigarette, sat next to him, and the evidence would show if Rebekah Kinner's statement were to be played, which is odd. The detective, after that meeting, quote, "I'm amazed. You went down there, you said you didn't want anybody in jail, this, that, and the other thing." Now, that might favor us, but that's not what the point is here. The point is, I believe the law, the rules of evidence, and just basic fairness does not permit the state to bring in anything regarding Rebekah Kinner at this point in time. Her statements to the police officers or her recorded statement while in the presence of Brad Young. No more so than they could play her complete statement in front of the jury in lieu of her testimony. No, that's not permitted either. So we would ask that anything involving Rebekah Kinner be redacted from that statement. Thank you.
Your Honor, these are statements of the defendant admissible against the defendant. Questions to the defendant or statements to the defendant from other people are only there for context. Any concern that there is regarding that, the court can give an instruction to the jury that anything that's stated as something somebody else said is not to be considered for the truth of the matter. That that's only to give context to the statements. This is, you can't parse out a defendant's statement and take out all the interrogator statements. Then the statement doesn't make sense anymore. And it's not something we've ever done. If they had gone in and lied about what Rebekah had said, this wouldn't be an issue. We wouldn't even be questioning it. So why does it make a difference? It doesn't matter what Rebekah said. What matters is the defendant's answer to what was stated by the investigators. And to Rebekah. Take her out, put an investigator there in her place. The purpose of that is to see his statements and his responses to what's being said. And if the court wants to instruct to that, and then anything that's said by this other person is not to be accepted as the truth of the matter, I'm fine with that.
And the jury be instructed either informed, I should say, either through questioning or by the court, that the law does not require that a police interrogator assert the truth within their questions to the person being interrogated.
Absolutely.
Mr. Schiavone, if the court did what you wanted to do, I don't know how does one understand the response of your client if one doesn't know what the question is?
It may not. But the problem here, Judge, even if the police officer wasn't lying, and I'm not saying that, and I don't want to use that
Well,
word.
let's suppose
It's part of
something horrible happened. Rebekah Kinner was no longer present on this earth to testify. The police would still be able to use this interview against your client.
It goes deeper than that, Judge. And I don't, it's only because things being asked of Brad were based on Rebekah Kinner. Rebekah Kinner is incompetent. She cannot distinguish the truth. So it's coming in back door. None of her words should be used in this trial, Judge. She's incompetent based on her, it's not even, her incompetency is based on her inability to tell the truth. So it gets backdoored in. I don't believe they should play the statement at all, because it is so tainted with Rebekah Kinner's untruths, and I don't know that it could be cured for the period of instruction of the jury, but I think it is.
Thank you.
We have an issue of confrontation also, Judge. We don't have the ability to cross-examine on those issues.
Well, if she was going to testify, I understand the confrontational issue. But when we're finished with this jury, they're not going to have any question that just because the officer suggested a fact, the question is that that fact is accurate, or that that piece of information is accurate. I don't think there's a confrontational issue, constitutional issue involved. Listen carefully to the arguments, the motion do not permit the state to play this evidence or to require that the state redact portions of the statement are overruled with the provision that the court will give a very clear, curative instruction, and I will grant counsel great latitude in explaining to the jury just the fact the officer says someone said that. Has not any necessary anchor in the truth of what she may or may not have said, or whether it's true or not true.
Am I to understand, Judge, that you're going to give that instruction to the jury upon their return before they're playing the statement?
Well, at the appropriate time. I don't even know who the next witness is.
Your Honor, it is Detective Sorrell who will be pretty much here to admit those statements into the record, the defendant's statements.
Well, I would hope that when the state's asking questions about Mr. Detective Sherrell, they will introduce this concept. So before the table's played, we'll give that jury instruction.
Thank you.
But not want the jurors just come back. I've got some other instructions to give them.
Thank you, Judge.
Judge,
Parcel it out.
on that topic, there was a stipulated agreement that we would redact State's Exhibit 117. That redacted copy was provided to counsel. We do have an entry in the court. It asked me to prepare it. So we just have to work on it now. I believe we discussed it last Tuesday, that there was a redaction regarding portions of statements.
Now I recall.
And I believe defense counsel has reviewed that entry, no objection?
No objection. Thank you.
Want me to have my office file this?
I would appreciate it, thank you.
Glad to do that. Now are we ready to bring the jury back in?
Yes.
We'll leave the bench for 1 minute, bring the jury back in, and we will look for will take into consideration our discussion and my ruling earlier. With that, is there any objection to their admission?
Just to renew my prior objection.
Noted.
And the argument given here.
Noted. That will be incorporated. Court will affirm the ruling it made previously. With that, 116 and 117 will be admitted before it's published. I need to address the jury as we discussed, correct?
That would be fine with the state, Your Honor, that may be appropriate at this time.
Ladies and gentlemen, what I anticipate next is that the state of Ohio is going to play videotape, audio, the interview with Bradley Young. And there'll be questions that are asked. Questions may contain, for example, suggestion that another person, for example, Rebekah Kinner, said this, or another person said this. There's a couple things I want to make certain that you, ladies and gentlemen, have a good understanding of. That applies even to trials. The question is not the evidence. Questions are only relevant as they give meaning to the responses. All right? Anything that's asserted as part of the question is not asserted for the truth of the matter contained in the question. So if I asserted a fact in a question, and then the person who received the question answered the question, and then you listen to that exchange, whatever I asserted is not evidence. And in fact, you're instructed that it is not. I consider it for the truth of the matter asserted. I think I'm up to the third point. The third point is when law enforcement is interrogating a witness, the law does not require that the law enforcement officer assert only information which the law officer knows or believes to be true. The law officer conducting an interview or an interrogation a law enforcement officer to say something to a person being interrogated, go back to point number one. You may not consider it for the truthfulness of that question. Questions have no evidentiary value except as they give meaning to the response of the witness or the person being interrogated. Is that reasonably clear, ladies and gentlemen? Does anyone need further explanation? No. Does counsel wish me to clear up the instruction that I've given to the jury as I wish to approach to discuss anything in that regard?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
On behalf of the defense, Judge, thank you.
I think what they said, ladies and gentlemen, is, fine, Judge, that was an eloquent explanation. That's what I heard. All right, with that, counsel, we'll continue, I guess you want to publish at this time.
And Your Honor, I'm having some technical difficulties, if I may have just a little.
Could have been a lot longer winded in my explanation. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, have you met Kim Reynolds? Oh, you have? All right. I was going to make an introduction. bailiff, and sometimes primary judicial assistant. I told that Mr. Bruno may have to leave us today. Reynolds will, the bailiff will take over Mr. Bruno's duties. Is that correct, Mr. Bruno?
Sure should do a much better job.
Have we solved our technical difficulties?
I think so, it seems to be loading right now.
Sorry. Take your time.
I can hear it working.
Do you think you have the input in the right?
Hey Kelly, exit out and go back into it.
I'm sorry.
Close it out and then-
Leave the stand, but you think we could be of assistance? Believe you could be of assistance at all.
Your Honor, with agreement of counsel, the state would fast forward to portions where nobody is in the room with the defendant.
We will not accept the stipulation.
have any problems, okay? It interferes with our communications over here.
Okay, turn it off.
We're gonna hang on to it real quick, just that way we don't have any issue.
Okay. Let me take my dad back real quick.
What's that?
Just let me take my dad back real quick. That's sure where I'm going.
Dude, it's public communications. All right, you guys are all right, that's fine.
Oh, I don't understand it. Good. Hold on a second. I like in there, Nick picture of my girlfriend, so I just want to lock it.
Okay. Damn, Fort Knox, what's up?
Hey, yeah, I don't want nobody seeing that picture of girls.
I almost see that picture of your girl either. find the damn lighter, man. Alright, let's see here.
Good, how you doing, bud?
Sergeant Kinner.
How you doing, Sergeant?
Good, good. You know me. That's right.
I know you said,
Oh,
we got a long, foggy, crazy right here.
Shit drive here, man. Traffic.
That's my walk right in front of us. Yeah, he said he wanted to give a more nation to give a ticket.
Yeah.
I go,
I trucking. I almost, literally, we almost did it.
Yeah.
And what is it my fault?
Sure.
I wasn't speeding.
If he was go down a little bit, I mean, it might have been his fault.
But here, we got a bunch of things I wanted to talk to you about some things, get you away from the house. It was a bit chaotic there this morning. I got, you know, and but since you're down here, I can't talk to you. It's just a formality, but we have to just basically tell you your rights. Anytime we bring anybody here, it doesn't mean anything, it just means we're informing you of your rights. You know what those are?
Yeah.
You probably heard them on TV. Okay. And this is just a card that actually says it. It says it just says what it costs. You have the right to remain silent. When you say again, we'll be using it in court. You have the right to return. You can't afford one or make it unneeded. Okay. And you don't have to stop us if you don't want to.
Oh, I like this. Yeah.
Right. And those are your rights. We have to do that by law. Anytime we talk to somebody. Well, yeah. And you know, you can't have the army or anything, so here's what you got and everything. But I see you sign and say that you did it. He'll sign and say that he witnessed me doing that. It's 8/26 on December 2nd. You sign and such day for
Sign here?
Yeah. And you, on the date, you just do the date. December 2nd, 8/26/08/26. Year on that. But no, here, just trying to get a rundown of what's been going on. You said you've been working.
Yes.
Where do you work at?
I work
in
Dearborn.
Dearborn.
Yeah, we vacated, we're opening up there. They vacated started last September. And we went up there November, and I got our contract in June, November, since June. Started out working 5 days a week, only 2 days off, so we switched to 8 or 6 off, which hardly ever happens anymore. But yeah, it's supposed to be 8 or 6 off. I don't know what's going on, so.
Well, when did you go back in town? I mean, what are your other shifts in your?
My normal shift's going to be Thursday to Thursday. But I work a lot of overtime, and I usually don't come back on time. But I got back at 10 o'clock Thursday afternoon.
And then you live at that house with
Chuck, yeah.
with Chuck? And
Yeah.
does your girlfriend live there?
No, she's lived with her grandparents. She lived there when I'm home, I guess you can say.
Oh, okay. Yeah, makes sense. Why stay there?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not there. That makes sense.
Yeah.
How long you guys been together?
Since August 28th, roughly.
Also, just
3 months.
Yeah, 4 months. Yeah.
We've known each other for a little while, but we're going to tell a story with each other. We said know each other very well.
Well, we're just trying to, like I said, we're going to run down. You came home on Thursday, and then what happened on, what did you do Thursday?
Thursday, I went to bed. Yeah, I worked all day.
How do you stay awake driving that long? Maybe you said
She worked for me and another guy, switch off. We drive.
right up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's easy on gas, too.
Yeah, we'll come to this grass.
Well, they don't pay you just your hourly wage, and then,
They pay for hours of wage, my per diem, $40 a day, and they pay for my driver.
damn.
Yeah,
Sounds like pretty good. Yeah, I don't want to spend. I'm paying hours, basically it's 8-hour trip.
I'm just going all out. I mean, that's just on the path. I mean, but sometimes, like last month, I was in town for 3 days. That was it.
Well, you know, it's what you got to do, I guess, to make a living.
Man, I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
At least you got a job, man.
I got a job. I make great money, and that's okay. I can't complain. I mean, I would go find a job right here making money. I mean,
Well, I'm like doing a bit.
no, I mean, I'm still young, so.
All right, you 27?
I'll be 27.
So you went to bed, and then you wake up Friday morning, I guess?
Yeah.
What'd you guys do on Friday? Was your girlfriend with you at the house?
Yeah.
Waiting on you guys there?
And she picked me up from my dad's house around 10 o'clock Thursday. I said, "Tell you the truth, I can't remember last night food, but no, she went to Friday." My mind's always so tired, from work, and I'd rather sleep.
It's like I remember those days in the military when we were always
just having the surgery and everything, I regularly,
When did you have the surgery?
Monday at 1:30.
Or at?
Before we did surgery in my third.
Oh. Did you do anything this weekend? I mean,
No, I don't think we did anything. I mean, we might have went to the store or something like that. We didn't go out and do anything, you know.
was it just football? Or?
Oh, yeah, I got a football book. I played Michigan. I had to watch that. I'm trying to think when we
You
got
watched that, right?
Oh, Die Hard. I bleached Friday, Gary. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, we might have left went to the store or something, but other than that, I mean,
So it's a pretty low-key weekend?
yeah, I mean, most of the time it is at home. We don't really go out and do much. We might go see a movie or, I mean, we would see out, one Castro Beer Fest, first time in September. Other than that, yeah, we really don't go out and do a lot. I mean, we might go to my dad's house, you know, for a little bit, or our grandma and grandpa's house for a little bit, but other than that, no, we don't really do much.
So Saturday you watched the Buckeyes win.
Watch the guys beat the Blue.
Yeah. They stomped.
Yeah, I was gonna say kick their ass,
What
but
did you guys do after that? Anything? Did you get done with the store?
yeah, store or something, yeah, something along them lines, yeah. I'm trying to remember, it was either Friday or Saturday, we were coming back from the store, coming back to my dad's house, and when we got in that finger bear, I guess you would say.
When was that? Tell us about that.
It was, actually, I'm pretty sure it was Friday. I don't quote me. It's either Friday or Saturday. I'm pretty sure it was Friday. We were coming down the road, and
What road was it? Where was it?
that Main Street, I think it was, for sure, Middletown. And coming down the road and doing a speed limit, and one of the crossing roads, intersecting road, whatever you want to call it. As we got toward the speed limit, right, maybe 15 feet from it, the park right in front of us, well, she slammed on brakes and locked the brakes up, and just barely bumped the car. And we were in the speed limit, so she locked the brakes up, and, you know, I drove forward, and my hand on the dash, and as soon as we came to a stop, I heard him in the backseat screaming at the top of the one.
You're scared to death.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking, I was scared to death, where I hopped out. Right, the instinct being a guy, I hopped out, freaking screaming and cussing at the driver of the other car, you know, what the fuck are you doing, you know? Watch where you're going, come out quicker, what can we pass, anything like that. Well, open the back seat up, make sure she's all right, calm her down, you know, make sure she's good. Look at her, she had a little pinch mark on her neck, with a little blood blister right here, I mean, probably no bigger than the left hip. It wasn't bad, you know, I just thought it was.
Was it things from the seat, the straps?
Yeah, where she goes, that thing goes across, I think she pinched her when she did the headbang thing.
That hurts.
Well, it probably didn't feel good, especially her being young as she is, so. And we went home, didn't think anything about her, but she said, oh, you know, she rubbed her neck and just, she said, oh, she said, all hers, you know. 30 minutes later, she couldn't cry about it, she didn't say anything else, you know, she was good. She acted like nothing was wrong, no issue, you know, she didn't act like it bothered her. I mean, she slept a lot the next day. I told her, hey, you know, make sure you keep her awake, keep her moving and everything else, you know. She shouldn't have a concussion. She didn't hit her head or really anything. I think her bottom may have hit her in the head or something, but the bottom, it ain't right. You know, what no damage she's going to do, you know. So, I mean, just keep an eye on her. After that, I mean, she went to Jack Pine. And it hadn't been Friday, but Saturday, she was in the kitchen eating and slipped and fell out of the kitchen chair. And bumped her head on the back on the kitchen chair.
Did you see that happen?
Yeah, I watched her fall out chair, I was going to catch her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was standing on the kitchen table eating. It's not the first time it's happened. I mean, it's happened 2 or 3 other times as well. Saturday. Yeah, pretty sure that Friday was at the near miss.
Right.
And Saturday when she slipped out of the chair. And, I mean, she kept complaining, like, you know, like, brush her hair, you know, give her a bath. She, yeah, after you run from the hospital, she said, all hurt, you know, just a little, you know, straight there, you know. Everyone probably looks just a little tender. She didn't act funny. She was sleeping a lot, but she was playing and doing everything else. Didn't think anything of it.
Was this out of like a high chair or was it out of like a regular chair?
A normal chair, yeah. chair about that high.
Not my chair, just in my, one of these.
Yeah, it's a normal chair, yeah. She always sits next to me when she's eating, and then she'll stay there and just eat, or she'll sit down. A lot of times she'll sit down in the chair, or just she'll get food, and she'll sit down and just sit there and eat, because she can still see over the table and still grab stuff off the table. She don't bother, she sits there, no issue. But for some reason, she knows not to stand up in the chair. She's sitting in a chair, and I was standing by the sink, and I turned around, sitting there in the chair, and she turned around and said something to me. Turned around, she's one of her feet sitting off the edge of the chair.
It's happened before.
Yeah.
What day was this?
Saturday.
When you guys run that in the fender bender, did you guys connect, the cars connect, or is it just a slam on the brakes?
Slam the brake on the car. I mean, we probably barely, I mean,
No damage.
no, didn't even mark me on the car, so that's why I just let it go.
What does Rebekah do during the crash? Does she get out?
Yeah, she hopped out with me and make sure that the kid was okay, yeah, make sure the kid was okay.
Did you ever talk to the driver?
No, I helped the driver, and
Did you guys get a license plate number or anything?
no.
No change of information, never report the crash or anything?
No, it's because it wasn't a crash. I mean, if there was damage on it, I would definitely make a report, but
Right.
I didn't want to didn't want to put anything on her insurance, trying to be a nice guy, if you don't want no damage done, I wasn't trying to be a dickhead in the middle of something where there wasn't no damage done and nothing that should have been done about it. I mean,
So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like when you say you did your time in the military.
Yeah.
You didn't, your 10%, you don't want to
yeah.
take advantage.
Yeah, it would have been like me to call and, I mean, they were probably 19, 20 years old, we were driving record or something on a driving record, and she was already messing, crying, and everything else, apologizing, so.
Some guys yelling at her, that probably does more than anything.
Yeah, if you're right there, I mean, with some front for you, I say, I was being right, you do the mag,
I think that's it.
So you're in Middletown? Where you come from?
I'm pretty sure I come from my dad's house, but I couldn't have come from the store. My dad lived in West Middletown.
Well, on Saturday then, what did you do on Sunday? Watch Buckeyes play? 3:30 game. Or Saturday, did you watch the Bengals game?
I watched the big game. Yeah. Saturday I didn't do nothing on Sunday. Saturday and Sunday you went football day. Sunday I already leave the house.
Did you drink or anything, watch the game? You should have been in certain amount of that.
Yeah, I'm good. I do drink very, very rarely. Yeah, I didn't do much Sunday because I knew I had to get up early. I had to get back in for 8 o'clock to get fish for everything. And then I had to be back at 1:30 to have the surgery.
How long did that take?
Surprisingly, like 55 minutes to an hour. I mean, I got in there 1:30 with my appointment.
Did it pull all your teeth and put new ones in, or were they already gone?
No, I had 13 that had to be ripped out.
And then they
Where's that whole bed?
Yeah, all my top of it.
And they pulled out 13, and then they put 13 new ones in?
It was an injury.
Does it come out?
Yeah, I didn't want to take it out. It's on the chain, I actually don't know. I'm already in enough pain as it is. 4 hours now, stitch murder got with it. I really don't want to deal with that right now. You guys probably won't slow.
Pretty painful. I don't want that. Was it painful?
Possible. Yeah.
So what time did you get home from the dentist on Monday?
See, I got out of there, I think like 2:30, 2:32 or something. I remember looking at the clock and I was like, oh, I guess I won't too. Anyway, home, we stopped at Kroger, I think. We stopped at a store, pretty sure it was Kroger, and got me some pudding. No, it was Myers, I'm sorry, Myers. I got my prescriptions off for my antibiotics and my ibuprofen pain medication or whatever it was. And yeah, went there, got that, got Oreo pudding, some juice and stuff me to drink, and that was it. But she left later that night, and it was a Kroger, and in the corner, got me 3 cans of chicken noodle soup and cans of tomato soup. Yeah, because I didn't get it that same time. Yeah, she left and we got that Monday afternoon. Trying to write my brain here.
No, she did. I mean, that's all. We're just trying to figure everything out.
Oh, I got you. That's okay.
And then also on Monday, you guys, you came home, you probably just vegged out, and you guys,
Oh, yeah.
did you sleep at all?
No, not really. I mean, I laid down, watched TV.
Do you guys have a room together, or do you sleep on the couch?
Never really got. No, she got he walked, the room door outside, he walked the bedroom door. You got her baby crib, dresser, TV, and her paper, of course, bed and nightstand, blah, blah, blah. I say she, the only thing she's got like a little, it's like a Tupperware thing. I got there for a couple days for clothes or something while she did, so she had to put all of that. I said, Grandma, get clothes or something. Where's Grandma live? In Madison Township, make a, you got the Madison Township Road?
Yes.
All right, make a right on Michael Road, go down the dip, what's that, the left is Hudson, the Hudson?
Mm-hmm.
Go all the way down to the Hudson Dead End. Yeah, whatever road Hudson Dead End is into, I can't think of what name of it, you make a left there, and right there. Before you go to the Esker, you drive straight off the Esker, right there.
So, yeah, that's definitely Madison, way out.
No, yeah, it's definitely Madison Township, 100%, and I still go down the road.
What, so on Monday, so you guys basically just stepped out and didn't do anything?
No, sir.
Did she stay with you?
Yeah.
And the baby too?
Yes, sir.
And then, I guess she woke up Tuesday morning, or I guess she got up Tuesday morning?
Yeah, so that's up a few hours from it, I just didn't want to, but yeah, I got Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning was yesterday, I probably think I did yesterday. And then I can break for a second, I'll figure out what it is. Sure.
I know it is, I can't remember what I did yesterday either.
I won't get so much stuff going on.
You couldn't have too much going on, because your mouth just got.
No, I'm not talking about yesterday, I'm talking about in general, we're just
Oh, yeah.
work, everything, I'm married, but don't get work, which I always got phone calls and taking and everything else. Tuesday was yesterday, yeah, we went to her grandparents' house for a couple of hours, went to my dad's house for a couple of hours. Excuse me.
What time, where'd you go first?
Went to her grandparents' house.
And you know what time?
4:35 something. This is around that,
What did you guys do all day before that? Just
nothing really, we just hung out and she came to watch cartoons for a couple hours. And she mentioned it to me, I didn't know anything about it until just a minute ago when the cop were at the house. I guess after she came to the bath, came to hit her temple or her head right on the side of the table in the living room. I didn't know anything about it. She said something to the cop. I didn't know what it was. I was in the bedroom most of the day on TV, watching the living room, watching cartoons, so I knew nothing about it until she mentioned it to one of your guys.
Was Rebekah there too?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, she only seen her hit her head. I didn't know about it at all.
And this was the minute before you guys left to go?
Yeah, it had to have been, yeah. Yeah, because she didn't go back, couldn't get back till 8:30, 9 o'clock.
So you were there the whole day?
Yes, sir, I did.
Did Rebekah ever leave?
No, nothing I recall. No, yeah, she did. She did leave to go do, she went to laundry.
Okay. What time was that? So before you guys left?
Yeah, laundry's just right around the corner.
Okay. Well, you know how long she was gone?
2-3 minutes, she went and dropped her off and put her in and came back.
Just go home for a little bit and then go back.
So she had to go back on the dryer, came right back home. Yeah, it's right around the corner, so real
That was
tight.
yesterday.
Yeah, not like we sit there or anything, there's no reason to.
So did she tell you that she was leaving? She would go to the laundromat? Like, hey, you wash her?
Yeah, it was early. Yeah, I was laying in bed, so she said, hey, I'm gonna leave her watching cartoons. Do you need anything washed? I'll be right back, put her up on the washer. I said, okay, that's fine, I'm up here, I'll be here when you get back. And she left and came right back, yeah.
Or you were watching the girl at the time?
Yeah, she was just sitting there watching cartoons.
When you were in the same room with her, or you good?
Yeah, I hopped up on the bedroom with her and make sure she was right going back to the bedroom. The bedroom door is literally right by the living room. If you walk around the bedroom door, look to your left, the TV to the living room, it's like 5 feet.
Yeah.
It's right there. And she was sitting right down in front of the TV, watching TV, so. Yeah, she was within just a few farther out here. So, then she went in my side, when she cried out here. You know, went out there for a good and we saw baby eyes. We were having with it.
What, so you guys came home, what did you guys do?
think threw a movie in them.
Yeah, we do.
What was that movie? Drawing a blank, Percy Jackson, the kid movie, the new one. I can't think of the name of it, it's where he's one of the guys, half blood. Yeah, I can't think of that one. It's a new one, something monsters of water. I don't know the name of it, but it's Percy Jackson. I'm sorry, I remember.
Were you guys all there?
Yeah.
What's the name? Chuck and you guys? Does he
Chuck,
watch the movie with you?
Chuck, no, he didn't watch the movie with us, but he was there.
What's his story? Was he, as far as he lives with you, was he working or
No, we don't live with me, we basically live together. I mean, it's more than,
Right.
I have to build, he may have to build, we just come inside each other, we've known each other, we're friends.
He works a lot too, didn't work with you though, guys.
No, he works at an Average body shop in London. Well, no, it was London, now he got transferred to Westchester. Yeah, he works
So he's usually there during the evening, but he's not there during the day.
7 to 5.
Okay. So you guys, when he didn't watch the movie with you guys, right?
No.
Was he home?
Yeah, he was there. Yeah, it's being this. I mean, you walk family down, she's watching a movie, let her watch a cartoon, get the movie out.
Sometimes he go to work in the morning.
He usually leaves 7-ish, 7. He's supposed to be out work at 7, but sometimes a little later, because he's a maker, so he's your own body guy, so then they give him a little beam, I guess. So yeah, he's supposed to be out at 7, but most times, yeah, I usually hear him leave around 6:50, something like that.
How's he doing?
I usually don't like 5:30.
Is that like Monday through Friday?
Yes, sir.
So, when you guys watch the movie, and then once you do after the movie,
We're laid down.
back in the bedroom?
Yeah.
All three?
No, we were in the bedroom all the time.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All three of you just like that?
Yeah, yes, sir.
And then what, how did we get into here?
It was, I want to say it was like 2:32, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm not going to give you the exact time, because I didn't look at the clock, I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, no,
And she started screaming real loud, and she was at the top of her lungs and screaming. And I freaked out, and what was wrong, so I hopped up and, looked at her playpen. Well, she had her head around her pillow. I thought maybe she was freaking out. She woke up in the dark. She was panicking, so I picked her up, and she was acting all weird. Like she was howling. Like I didn't know. I thought maybe she had her lying there. I yelled back. I said, "Hey, what's wrong with me? Why is she acting so weird?" And she's having a nightmare. Just lay her down, let her do things, don't bother her, try to wake her up. Her nightmare. I understand, but you're not supposed to do that, Well, she was acting funny because, she was acting, she wouldn't respond to anything I said, but of course she could still instantly have a nightmare. Well, after she came to and everything, she was shaking her back. Not cold in the house at all, not a little bit cold, not whatsoever. Was shivering, like she had been outside in a blizzard for hours, was shaking. So I grabbed the blanket around her, sat her on the bed, and turned the heater on. Then, right when I turned the heater on, go in the room there, let's the heater there, in case it doesn't get cooler in the room. I could heat up faster. She stopped shaking, started acting normal again. I went to lay her down again, and she started kind of fussing a little bit. She was fussing because she was hungry, or maybe she was just trying to fight me and go back to sleep. I gave her a couple fruit snacks or something. Maybe she was one of the snacks. She gave a couple fruit snacks. I went out to the living room, turned the TV on, and Becca came out there with me, and I almost smoked a cigarette. Came back inside, and laid on the couch. She started to fall asleep and said goodnight. So I told Becca, I said, "Hey, babe, turn the TV off, and she's going to fall asleep. She's going to fall asleep here, so I fall asleep." Fell asleep. 5 minutes after she fell asleep, she woke up screaming again. Same scream, same exact way. I was why she keep having nightmares? What is wrong with her? I was screaming at the top of the lungs. Why are you possibly screaming? I hopped up.
Did Chuck get up and come out and see what the hell's going on?
No, Chuck never got up until after the fact. So I told her, "Okay, babe, I don't know what's going on. She's having another nightmare. She's dead. Let her do what she's doing. I laid her down on her back, let her have a nightmare." She stopped screaming. She was like, "Huh?" She took a deep breath, and I was like, "Sis, wake up. Sis, hey, you already having a bad dream, wake up." So she kind of blinked her eyes at me, looked at me, And I watched her eye go back her head, and she took another deep breath, and I shook her again, and she started having, she took that other deep breath and said, hey, call 911 now, I don't know what she's doing, I don't know what's wrong, you need to call 911, just call 911, and that's when the lady on the phone was, I don't know if she was going to go to bed because I couldn't really hear what she was saying, I don't know what she was saying, and I started screaming, I don't know what you're talking about, I need to know something, I'm freaking out here. Well, she finally put the lady on the speakerphone, and Becca disappeared. I don't know where she went to, and that lady was talking me through, I know I do CPR, it's been a while, and she was keeping me calm, started doing CPR, and basically was keeping her alive enough and breathing enough until somebody arrived to take over enough more professional than I was. And as soon as she turned on the speakerphone and disappeared, that's when Chuck came out, and Chuck got down on the other side of the room, helping me support her head, and that's where we stood after that.
The first time that she woke up screaming, you're the one that went over to her?
I went over and picked her out of her bed and laid her down on our bed, yeah.
Okay. And what was Becca doing? She kind of like leave her, let her be, let her do her thing?
Yeah. Yeah, I was freaking out at that time, wanting to call him, you know, wanted to call somebody. But she came out of it, and I was like, maybe, like, you know, I'm not, I'm like, the dad of the year, I didn't know either, you know, it's new to me too, and, you know, maybe I was wrong, she's good to go, you know. But it's her acting real weird and shaking, and I mean, I'm talking about shaking, like that. I was like, you know, what's wrong with you? Like, I didn't understand. And she ended up going back to sleep, and back at her again. I don't know. Don't make any sense to me still, I don't know why.
So did you say you moved from the bedroom to the living room, or did you stay in the bedroom?
Moved to the living room couch.
Did all three of you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And you had her on your chest at that time?
Well, she was laying like half on, half off of me, yes, sir.
Where was Becca at?
Sitting at the end of my feet.
As far as your job, what do you do?
I'm a maintenance man, mechanic, electrician, welder.
You do all the, I think you said you're a manager. Do you do the work, or do you manage other guys and make sure they're doing the work and doing it? Are you doing the labor?
Well, that's one of the things where, you know, if you're a manager, you got a bunch of people that are trying to do the work, you got to step in and show them how to do it every once in a while. And especially
But you do a lot of that? You do more of the paperwork administrative side?
I'm happy to have basically, because there's still a manager above me that's there. He does all the other paperwork. You have to put a little paperwork on me, but he makes sure that the crews are getting rain right and all that other stuff, make sure all the jobs are getting done on the site. He just lines the jobs up for us, gets paperwork done, and he gets all behind, and he can go talk to an AK manager or something like that. That's why I step in and take care of all that stuff.
And you don't back to work on Thursday?
I at least tonight.
Oh,
Yeah,
tomorrow.
Yeah, I got tomorrow out tonight, or tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah. Any questions for him? Sit tight. You good for a minute? Yeah. Trying to wrap you up and get you this tooth baby.
Yes, sir. I would love to go see the hospital with that, but we're ready.
Okay.
Are you guys taking us?
You know what? I'm not sure yet. Give us a minute here. I think we're going to sort of all this out.
Okay.
You said you were going from your dad's house during that Fender bender?
That's out for the Kroger one, or not Kroger, store one or two.
Where were you guys headed to?
Home.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
You said it's out on Main Street?
I'm not pretty sure of Main Street though.
Okay.
entire of 16 and 17. Of this one, this particular section of the video, we have about an hour left.
Very well. Do you wish to be heard on this topic?
The topic of your order.
When I eat my lunch.
Order the court, please, Judge.
Yeah, that's what